Hello, everybody. Welcome to my next episode of Off the Monorails. My name is not that Matterhorn man. As you can see, I'm still getting used to this part right here, down there. Um, yeah, it's Saturday night, 9 o'clock, and I've got a lot to say. So I've got a couple of things, which again, if you watch my Instagram lives, some of these things should look familiar to you, but others maybe not. But hello, Samantha. How are you? To all my friends that are in Florida that are hockey fans, I've been watching up until at this point the Lightning versus the Stars, and it's tied going in the third period. Hopefully, the Lightning can eke it out tonight. If you're a Cubs fan like I am, the Cubs just clinched the Central Division for the National League earlier tonight. They didn't have to win to do it. St. Louis lost, so they're Central Division champions for the first time in 3 seasons. So that's always good to hear. I'm excited for some postseason baseball. Well, not returning to Chicago. It won't be played in Chicago. It'll actually be played in Houston, I think. Either Houston or Arlington, Texas. So that'll be exciting. Of course, the Southsiders as well are headed to California. They'll be playing either Los Angeles or Los Angeles or San Diego for their games. So that's exciting as well. Hello there, Elle. How are you? I'm glad you could make it. Welcome, 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 everybody. So I actually just within the past hour or so, finished watching the first season of The Mandalorian. I finally got to it. And we got about a month until it actually premieres on Disney Plus again for season 2. I'll have to watch the trailer there. Now I again, I'm not a big Star Wars fan. I like Rise of Resistance. Don't get me wrong. I love that ride at Disney World. I think it's one of the best rides there. But kind of watching, I'm just like, all right. But again, if you're a fan of like Western films, it's like a space Western. Think of it that way. There's a little bit of like technology and that sci-fi aspect in there, but it was overall, I loved it. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Watch it before or even on the day of the first episode. Do a 9-episode binge-a-thon. There are some surprises in there. I definitely knew some places be like, oh, okay. Lots and lots of Easter eggs. Kind of doing a little bit of research on my phone. If you're Star Wars fans, for me, I'm just like, okay, I don't know what that is, but if you're a Star Wars fan, you'd probably be like, oh my gosh. So I definitely recommend it. I only was probably going to watch maybe the first 2 episodes, but we got into the third one. Then we started making dinner, and the fourth, fifth, sixth, and finally I'm like, we've watched 6 of them. Let's just do the 7th and 8th. So that ended about an hour ago. So I put on the hockey game. That's when Tampa Bay tied it up. So again, hopefully, cross fingers. Yeah, the Lightning will win. Again, I have ties to both ends in Dallas, and used to have ties in Tampa Bay as well. So me being a Blackhawks fan, Dallas is in the Central Division, same division as the Blackhawks, but don't really care if either of them really do win. So go team. Elle, you need to see The Mandalorian. Like, I just thought Funko was making this cute just to make it cute, but I mean that's I'll tell you without giving any spoilers, that's a thread. His cuteness is a thread. I'm looking forward to season 2 with this guy. Again, if you watch it, it's evident that season 2 will involve him. I just won't go into that any further. So, yeah, it's Saturday night. I'm so used to, you know what, Elle, I've seen bits and pieces of the 7th episode, so the first one of the last The newest trilogy. So the seventh movie, Episode 7, which one is it? Not Rise of Skywalker. The Force Awakens. I've seen parts of the Force Awakens. I know kind of the big spoiler for that one. I did watch The Last Jedi. I actually bought it and watched it from start to beginning. It was kind of like, oh, okay, yeah. And then when Rise of Skywalker came out, I'm like, I don't really have a yearning to see this. So if it's on TV, I'll see it. Or if we get it, like I think it's on Disney Plus, I might watch it when I get bored one day. But it's not something that I will put on because I'm like, ooh, I just gotta see this. I would have done that, and I would have been there day one. But Mandalorian, I think, is actually very good. Like if you don't really like Star Wars, or you're like, okay, I like the first three movies, episodes 4, 5, and 6, but then everything afterwards kind of eh. The Mandalorian is, yes, again, like I said, it does have Star Wars characters mentioned in it. It's set in the Star Wars universe. It will restore your faith in the whole Star Wars franchise. I will give you that. So, again, the next thing I'm kind of bringing this, I know I've showed this on my Instagram Live, but it's the Peter Pan mug. Now, the other side is actually a pretty interesting side because the other side does have the shadows. You can see on the right there. I'll bring that in so you can see it. It does have the shadows of the Darling Children and Peter Pan. I'm assuming Tinker Bell is also there as well. But it's on the other side of the mug. I don't care about the ship part and the bow, but that's the side that they're showcased. But also, I'm kind of afraid to take this out. This was part of my my second foray into the main event. So I tapped into the mug. Funny that you say about the pins, Sam, because I got this through the merch pass. I also got this through the merch pass. It's the pins. I was on the fence about these pins. But you've got the ear pins. It's got the I was gonna call it the Eiffel Tower, but it's Big Ben. You got the stars. Of course, you got the stars are on the ears. Of course, the bigger one's the second star to the right. Get it? Of course, you got the mini plush pin, and then the attraction vehicle pin, the ship, which is again part of the attraction. I like how on the box, you can read this better on the box than on the back of the pins. It gives you all the stuff about Disneyland's version. Yeah, they are very cute. I do actually really, really, really like these pins. So we got that. And again, I've showed these before. This is my first dip into the main attraction here. And it's the Small World pins. Although, I don't know, maybe I should get if I can find the mug would actually probably be a good one too. But you've got the Small World clock face in pink and blue. Got the Small World plush. And then the Small World ears. Now the ears, you've got basically what the clock face says with the numbers. You got the 5, a 9, 1, 0, and 2 on the left. You got a 7, 4, 8, 6, and 3 on the right. This is more of like a Paris or Tokyo style, because you're not going to see this type of clock face on the outside of It's a Small World unless it's like Christmas time at Disneyland. The Disneyland version is all white and gold, like the Florida version is right now. Now, if you're an oldie like me, I'm not that old, but I remember back in the 90s and early 2000s that It's a Small World in Florida really had this color scheme here. It had the colorful color scheme, and I liked it because it set it apart from the Disneyland one a little bit. And excuse me, not only that, um, it had lights, like light bulbs, and it blinked. It was very colorful and more up. I don't know, upbeat. Don't get me wrong, the white and gold is okay, but I think Florida's entrance needs a little bit more pizzazz because there's not a lot of space to work with. And I do like how different rides have different differences. Well, obviously they're different differences, but the rides have their own unique differences. I know Florida has kind of that, they call that the infinity pools, um, meaning that it's not like a flume, but the track is flush with the water line. So it looks like you're floating in the middle of the river. So there's much more water there. Oh, yeah, see again. Um, of course, Florida is kind of set as a part of the main part of Fantasyland, whereas California, it's pretty much its own area. I do agree that they do need to jazz it up. It used to have fountains, the Florida one, in the load area. Right before you go into that first scene, on either side, it has fountains. It used to have fountains. And the fountains would have light up with different colors. Um, I specifically remember that, and when they redid it, two things came off to my mind. It's like, oh, this looks a little less boring. Or, well, three things. This looks more boring. I missed the fountains. You are now entering through the exit. That whole ramp area that's currently the entrance used to be the exit. And the exit was at first the entrance. It's a big presence. It's a big presence in Paris. It's a big presence out in California as well. I don't know if you've been to California. I don't think you've been to the California Disneyland, but it is a big presence. Um, the Florida one, they tried to take that big presence and contain it with the redo. And they added the clock. That whole clock thing was not original to the Florida ride. That's supposed to chime in with the whole, again, I put the bubble wrap around the wrong one. But this with this whole turny face right here, that originally wasn't a part of the Florida version. But it's, I don't know. I think they had an opportunity to try to make it unique to Florida. And they took it away. They tried to make them both look the same. And I think it fell flat. But I was talking about how the exit's now the entrance and the entrance now the exit. And finally, the fountains were taken away, and partially because they extended that exit ramp a little bit, or the now entrance ramp, into where the area where the fountains used to be. So, yeah, I wasn't too thrilled with the whole Small World entrance. Although, if I could skip Small World on a trip, I would, because it's not something where like I have to do that every trip. Although for the past 2 trips to Disney parks, I have done it. I've done the Christmas version in November in California, and the last time, this past trip, I did it again in Florida. Anytime you do a Christmas, if it says Christmas whatever, no matter what, even if it's a ride I hate, I'll go on it. That's just my philosophy. You have to try every ride at least once. I've done Mission Space once. I've done the green side once. The green's a less intense one. So I've done Mission Space once. I'm still debating whether to do orange side or not. I don't know. I might need a little bit more quote unquote convincing for that. So yeah, I'm really really on the fence about it. On the fence is a good word for me to say. That's what I heard. We had a family friend. Hold on one second. I need to take a little sip of my Mountain Dew here. No endorsement. But then, who doesn't like Mountain Dew? Yeah. We had a family friend that had to use the paper bags. They had to use the paper bags in in mission space. They're like, don't ever do it. Don't do it. You'll regret it. And it kind of scared me off. You need to change. Like, that's unacceptable. That is really unacceptable. So, but yeah. Going back to It's a Small World, I didn't know I I didn't really well, first of all, there's a little bit of history there with It's a Small World. To saw New York, like it's pretty much the same. It's mostly the same ride. The ride from New York, they just shifted over to California, not Florida. So the California one is the New York version. So she's been on it. But the Christmas version is it's totally different. There's smells, the Christmas lights. It's magical. It invokes that Christmas season. So hopefully things are not looking good for California right now in terms of Disneyland, but hopefully 2021 they'll bring it back and bring back all their holiday offerings there, because it's something that I think the locals are going to complain about it. I'm going to complain about it. Floridians are going to complain about it, heck, because year after year I hear Floridians say, well, we need the Small World holiday over here. We need Haunted Mansion holiday over here in Florida. So if Disney's going to do Christmas, they need to go all out, correct? So that's my 2 cents on that one. But I'm making sure I'm highlighting this, L, because you had your paper bag out for the ride is 3 seconds longer. See, that makes me not want to go on it. So, and the Osborne lights. I saw the setup for the Osborne lights at MGM Studios when I was there in 2004. Tried to get my parents to stay, and they said no. We had to go back to our hotel. So I never got to see the Osborne lights in action. I never got to see holiday illuminations, the holiday tag at the end of illuminations. Never have seen Disney World's Christmas fireworks in person. But I have seen the Lights of Winter, which is the lighted up archways in between Future World and World Showcase. That whole walkway where Agent P and like the Phineas and Ferb World Showcase thing and the Kim Possible World Showcase thing was, where you would start off there. And right now, I believe it has like a water fountain playground that's under construction. There's like festival shops that they line that main pathway, as well as something else. I forget what else there. Sometimes they put topiaries there. The main topiaries for the Flower Garden, or the main the main banners for the Food and Wine or Festival of the Arts, those types of things that are there. And so those were cool to see. Those arches were cool. Like, and I didn't get why they took those away. Those to me seem like those are simple to set up. They're not distracting from anything. It's a big empty space. Why did they take the arches away? So hopefully they can bring something like that. Maybe not in the exact same form, but maybe in something a little bit more interactive. I don't know. Or just plus the arches up. Bring the arches back. We need more arches. Everyone loves a good arch, right? But yeah, I remember the Arches Osborne lights. I did do a Christmas party once at 2004 with the Christmas parade at night, but they played Wishes. I remember specifically it was Wishes and not the Christmas fireworks. It wasn't the holiday wishes or um, so kind of disappointed with that. But I've seen the Disneyland Christmas fireworks too, so I love Disneyland Christmas fireworks. They're simple. They do a lot of more projections for the holiday fireworks than Florida does. They don't show off as many fireworks, but of course they make it snow. Um, as well as what else? They do the Christmas parade in California the same way that Florida does their Christmas parade, except that all of California's holiday offerings are included with park admission. And so that's something I'd like to see in the future. I know not that this year is not going to be whatever, but for 2021, more Christmas offerings during the day. That would be something that's awesome and that I would like to see. Of course, you got Halloween coming up, and we got to get through Halloween. So yeah, Halloween does projections down Main Street. They rely a lot more on projections than Florida does, partially because I think it's because of the fire weather out there. Don't quote me on this one, but if there's a fire weather, if the fire marshal in Anaheim can pull the plug at any moment if it's too windy or the conditions would be hazardous. So they rely on a lot of projections, so they can run the projections and they can still run the show just sans fireworks. But oh shoot, do I have the do I have the photo? When I was in California, not this past year, yeah, for the fire. How did you do Jack Skellington WDW? I believe it's an actor that stands on the or for the fireworks. I believe it's an actor on stage. On the I believe it's an actor. I've never been again just watching live streams and stuff. I believe it's an actor on stage for that. But one of the things that I kind of wish Disney World would do instead of Disney or that Disneyland does is that you know how obviously Disney for Christmas in Town Square they always put up Christmas trees. Well, in California, they do a pumpkin, and I have pictures of the pumpkin. And again, I didn't know I was going to be talking about Halloween, Disney Halloween. On one side, it's a goofy Mickey face. On the other side, it's a normal pumpkin jack-o'-lantern face. So you're taking pictures on both sides, or I think it's pretty cool. I don't know why Florida doesn't do that. It seems like it's something that they could either throw in the middle of Main Street, or they can put it somewhere else in the park. That big giant Mickey pumpkin. But again, we're going to see a lot of decorations light this year. I know that's what's going to occur. We're not going to get the decorations that we're used to getting in Florida. I know they're bringing trees, no gingerbread houses, but trees are coming. But in terms of like upping the Christmas decorations from last year, I think take last year as the most, and they're going to tone it down just a little bit. At least that's just my 2 cents on that. All right. Now, other people have shown this magic band before. This is not mine. This is being borrowed from someone that I'm really close to. You've probably seen this one before. Again, on a different one. but it's the Little Mermaid 30th anniversary. You got hidden Mickey bubbles right there. You got Ariel. You got some seahorses, and I got Dinglehopper on the side. But you got the Little Mermaid on the other side. Yourself, Ariel. You got Sebastian. You've got Flounder. I'll hold this up for a little bit longer. This was actually an upgrade offer from March. We got this one in March for our trip that was supposed to be in March. You know, you get the free ones as of now through 2020. They're giving a free one. But if your trip's in 2021, you won't get a free one. You have an opportunity to buy a Magic Band, I believe it, but you won't get them for free anymore. But this was actually an upgrade price. Now, because I think it wasn't limited release or something, it was one of the higher costing upgrades, but it was still an upgrade nonetheless. Now, my first trip to Disney World back in 2019, not my first ever, but my first one with Magic Bands, no, I did not upgrade. I did not upgrade. Upgrades were not available at the time. So I saw this on Shop Disney, and it's just Spaceship Earth. It's got the classic Walt Disney World logo, as you can see. Again, I'm still getting used to the camera here, although you'd think I would be used to this by now. But it's got the classic Walt Disney World logo, which I love that part. But sadly, or not so sadly, we're not going to see the old Epcot logo anymore. But yeah, so this is my first kind of printed Magic Band here. Yeah, it's a pretty old one. It's a pretty old one, I have to say. So at least a couple years old. I've still seen it every once in a while pop up on Shop Disney too, or in the parks. So I've seen this one pop up again and again. But again, the logo, they probably discontinue it because of the logo right there. And there's much more, tons and tons of Magic Bands, which, let's talk again about Magic Bands here. You're not getting the free one when you check in. You're supposed to use your phone. Again, I remember when there's a technically called Magic Band 2.0, but when the 1.0 came out, they're like, oh, the Magic Band's going to be your ticket, it's going to be your everything. You won't need to carry stuff around because everything will be basically on your wrist. And that's the same year the Apple Watch came out. I'm like, we got smartphones, we got Apple Watches. Why can't we just use it through phone? Why can't we? So I wasn't like, oh my gosh, it's basically they're using this as a tracking device, which they kind of do. I was totally against the Magic Band. And then even like up until last year, in March, I'm like, I'm still on the fence about these Magic Bands. Like, I'm not so sure. But honestly, I could charge things to my room, like my room. I could charge things to my room. I could put stuff. I didn't have to carry a full wallet. I could carry just the essentials that I needed with me to Florida. And just like all the junk that I didn't need could be locked away in the safe or whatever. But I grew to like it, especially because with the room key this way, it's just tap and go. The room key, if you use your phone, you have to unlock your phone, do the special thing, hold it near, wait 5 seconds, and then unlocks. And that's how you're going to unlock your room. It's with your phone. If you don't have a Magic Band, this is going to be your park ticket. This is going to be your fast pass right here. It's in a lot of ways it does make sense from a Disney perspective, but the technology to unlock for your room key is way different. As different technology that Disney uses than the Magic Band. Like they would have to upgrade every single room to accept just like a phone, like a tap and go phone thing. So I think now it's more of a cost thing, more than anything. They don't want to give these out for free anymore. But like if I'm going to Disney, I would still tell you, get a Magic Band. Spend the $10 for the Magic Band, even if it's just a solid color. You're gonna save time. Again, it's on your wrist. I'm still kind of unsure about like why like constantly using your phone. If something happens to your phone, you're kind of out of luck. It might make things a little more complicated for you. I've seen in the summer phones overheat. We've all watched our favorite streamers where the stream's lost because their phone overheats and you're constantly using your phone more and more and more. I want a fail safe like the Magic Band. So I would definitely bring my old Magic Bands if they're still in working order, or just get a cheap solid color one, and use that. Or you lose a charge on your phone, or you're using the phone, you think you have a good charge on for an external battery, and the external battery is not charged. We don't know how long these fuel rod stations are going to be on Disney property, or if you have to pay for the new fuel rods for the refills, the exchanges. Or like if you're like, oh, I'm a new person to fuel rod, those prices can go up and up and up and up. You don't want to rely, and plus fuel rods, they don't even charge your phone fully. Like you have to exchange it like twice at least to charge your phone. And if you have family members using fuel rods, and it's just one fuel rod, and you're like, okay, I'm just gonna exchange it every time someone else, like you're gonna be constantly exchanging it. Like, I don't know. Part of it's yes, convenience. I know another part for me, wearing my watch and a Magic Band, I always tap my watch instead of the Magic Band, at least the first trip there. But it is what it is. Disney is still going to be making these Magic Bands. If you're a Magic Band collector, go for it. I know the main attraction has Magic Bands with each one, and they're going to still do the Magic Bands into 2021. They're going to be 50th anniversary Magic Bands. I can tell you that for sure without even knowing what the merchandise is going to look like. But yeah, I'm excited for the 50th anniversary. I'm excited for pin sets in general. In a moment, I'm going to tell you. Oh no, yeah, that probably was me. Like if I was on a show, I did that every single time. I'm so glad I didn't do any sort of streaming, because every single tap style was me holding up my watch to the whole darn. Well, it's 9:30. The whole darn time is just me trying to tap my watch, and the cast member just like, this type of person again. So, but I like pin, like I was saying before, I do like pin sets. So again, this is another Instagram pin set that I've shown. This is available in the parks. I did see this back in July. So I saw this on Shop Disney a few months ago. I'm like, I have to get, like, these are theme lands. I love theme land pins. These look cool. I need to get them. They're metally, shiny. Not going to go on my pin board as of yet, because I want it. The card is too big. I want to keep them on the card, so I'm trying to find like a safe spot for them. There's Main Street. Of course, Mickey Mouse is going to be Main Street. You've got Minnie riding the carousel horse for Fantasyland. I think that's a pretty cool one. Pluto is Adventureland. And you got Donald for Tomorrowland with Space Mountain there. So I'll kind of hold it up for a second there. Very, 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 very shiny. Cool pins. Again, I know I showed this on Instagram, but now you can see them the way that they're meant to be. And even though it says Disney Parks, this is more closer to the Florida Castle. Now, if I'm looking at this turret's a little bit different. I believe this is it. There's only one gold turret in the Florida version. But this closely resembles the Florida Castle with the whole rose gold paint. And this was before they repainted it. I'm not complaining that it's actually Donald. I'm just saying that it's interesting that it's Donald there. I don't know. For me growing up, if you remember Disneyland Fun, Donald with his Follow the Leader, with his safari hat, running through Adventureland, they're singing Following the Leader. So Disneyland Fun, I thought like they could put him with Adventureland, maybe Pluto or Goofy. There's no Goofy pin. But curiously in the middle right here, like this is a big set. Maybe they had a fifth pin here with Goofy and Frontierland. There's no Frontierland pin. No, I maybe just switch Pluto. I like it's him versus Goofy. Yeah, I don't think Goofy would be a good choice for Tomorrowland either. I think Donald's probably the better fit if it was between the two. But honestly, growing up, Donald, Follow the Leader song from Disneyland Fun, going through Adventureland with his safari, I think that would have been a little bit more appropriate here. Because Pluto is just regular old Pluto here. Minnie's just regular old Minnie Mouse. These two are actually have some sort of theming to the actual land there. But again, there's no Frontierland pin. So hopefully, they do a version 2 of this with a Frontierland pin. Hold it in front of my face right there. So I should have grabbed a second one. One for a pin board, one to keep like this, one for a pin board. But this sold out pretty quickly on Shop Disney. I'm like, wow, that was quick. I'm glad I grabbed it when I did because they didn't put it back on. But again, just because it's not on Shop Disney anymore doesn't mean that they discontinued it. A lot of times it just means that they're not selling on Shop Disney anymore. They're selling it. They're just could be selling it in the parks. So that's a lesson that I did learn. I'm like, oh, that was on Shop Disney. You can't find it. Same thing with the Disney Parks Uno game that I showed last week, or was it earlier on Sunday? So technically this week. This was on Shop Disney for a while. So almost got this, and then it wasn't there anymore. I'm like, okay, maybe I should get this for our trip. Couldn't find it on Shop Disney at all. And I'm like, damn, they took it off. They're all sold out. And fast forward to the beach club, going through it. Oh, look, they have some games. Okay, there's Battleship. I believe we saw maybe Monopoly, but there was a Haunted Mansion Life, some other Disney games. And we couldn't find this Uno game. It was actually it turns out it was hidden away, but I actually got this from the Riviera. So we found this at the Riviera. We got this. I'm like, we're going to have a lot of downtime. Epcot doesn't open till 11 o'clock now, 12 o'clock right now. Or pretty soon could be 12 o'clock if it isn't already. But when the parks close early at like 7, 8 o'clock. So like we need to do something in the evenings. Maybe walk around a little bit, get something to eat. We don't want to be spending too much time at Disney Springs. but we want to make sure we're doing at least keep ourselves entertained and not just watching. Although we did have Mickey Mouse cartoons in the background pretty much the whole entire time, but so we had this game that we played. That's kind of my advice if you're still planning on going. Again, sidetracking here. If you're still planning on going to Florida, bring something to do in the evenings. Parks close early, and if you're a person that goes to bed at 11 o'clock at night every night, you're going to need something to do for at least a couple hours. And this, trust me, if it's 2 people, this will take you a couple hours. You can play, even if you don't even play for points. This is hours of fun right here. Yeah, so I did get a couple more things off of Shop Disney. To my brother's kind of like, he groaned a little bit. He did. Like, you bought more pans. I'm like, yes, I bought more pans. But I got a tip from a friend, Kim S., that she was hearing that the Minnie Mouse main attraction stuff for Thunder Mountain, which I didn't get diddly squat from it. Zero from the park pass. I did like 3 things. I even did the plush. I'm like, I don't want the plush. But if the plush is the only thing that's going to be available to me, I might as well keep it. But I got nothing out of everything I checked. So I was really disappointed. And then Kim tipped me off and said, hey, tomorrow it's 9 o'clock Central Time. Yeah, Kim is the best. She is. Shout out to Kim right there. You're going to have like the pins and like everything's going to be on Shop Disney at 9 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, yes. So at 9, I'm like, I need to get on the computer as quickly as possible. Was I working at work at the time? Yeah. Took me like a minute or so. But it's like put in the basket, click, and I got both the Thunder Mountain mug and the pin set. So once I get that, I will be showing that on the air. I also got a Spirit jersey. Well, they don't. It's technically not called a Spirit jersey. It's a T-shirt by a Spirit jersey, but it's a Spirit jersey price. But it's a short sleeve T-shirt. I really don't like long sleeve T-shirts because they're a little bit awkward on me. But it is part of the Rainbow Collection, but it's T-shirt by Spirit Jersey. And some of the sizes I think are still available on shopdisney.com right now. But I got it like, I believe it was 60% off, maybe a little bit more than 50% off. I'm excited for it. When I get it, it's going to be washed. I'm going to wear it with pride. And yeah, I'm excited for that one too. Of course, I'm eyeing a couple more pins. The trading card set, there's a Gonzo one, and there is a Casey at the Bat. I'm deciding which one I want more. Hopefully with more park, or not, I keep calling park passes, but merch passes, hopefully a little bit more. I win a little bit more of those pins. And if I ever come across other opportunities for those main attraction pins and mugs that I kind of regret not getting, I will get those. So Al is saying, are they long enough for you? That's always the trouble why I can't buy Disney shirts. It's just long sleeves in general for me. I mean, my height is 6'4", so my arm span is really, really long. So that like sometimes they go up to like the sleeves go up here, or like they're here. It kind of looks awkward. But it's not just Disney shirts in general. It's any sort of long sleeve shirt. So sometimes if people say, oh, these are a little bit short in general, and they'll, like, you know how sometimes you have like the cut off ones, like the baseball long sleeve shirts with a 3/4 one. So sometimes if they're short on some other people or they shrink, I'm like, okay, it's gonna look like that on me, so it kind of looks fashionable. But I tend to stay away from long sleeve shirts for that. The length of the shirt, oh, I don't know. Again, I've never done Spirit jersey, but I've seen Spirit jerseys on other people, so I don't think that's going to be a problem for me at all. I'm actually wearing I'm wearing a Disney shirt right now, and it's not an issue at all. For me, my length is mostly in my legs. It is not in like the abdomen area. My height is in my legs. So the shirts, like the shirt length is not really an issue for me per se. It's mostly arm length is what I really do have trouble with. Okay, if I do kingsize.com, again, no sponsorship there, but I don't really like flannel shirts in general. I do have a couple flannel shirts, but I don't know, it really is not my thing. So yeah, so I'm excited for Spirit jerseys and pins coming. Oh, I know I forgot. Speaking of pins, I did grab some other pins. It wasn't part of the baseball or the trading card set, but it's a mystery pin set for ink and paint. So I believe it's a set of 2 pins. They're mystery pins, and I think whenever I get them in the next stream afterwards, I think I'm gonna do like my first unboxing kind of reveal type of thing. That's exciting. Although knowing me, it might just be a surprise pop-up stream. Like, I got these today. We're opening these now, and then they'll go on my pin board. Which I got to show you guys my pin board, but I'm still cleaning it up a little bit in itself right there. So ink and paint pins, they're not like the style of like the limited release ink and paint pins where it's kind of like sketch. They're just the kind of like the final drawing type deal with that, or like the stuff that you kind of see like inside like the bowls. I know I've shown the bowls before on an Instagram Live, but it's the final versions of the characters instead of the whole process going from the sketch to the painting part, the final product. So I hopped onto that. So those are coming in the mail too. Definitely going to do an unboxing with that. Okay. What else do I have here off on the side? Do I have anything else that I want to bring? I do not. So I did mention on the last time, if you watched now episode 4, which it's not available on or to kind of replay, unfortunately. But I did mention that if you're watching, I would talk about these Hello Freshes. Again, I'm name dropping, brand dropping left and right. I have nothing to do with them whatsoever. But these meal kits. And I gotta say, I haven't come across one that I've gotten that stunk. They've all been delicious. The one they made last night was a red hot, a hot sauce chicken, hot sauce crusted chicken. Well, the hot sauce didn't crust; it was with breadcrumbs. But it was hot side crusted spiced chicken, and a hot sauce packet, panko breadcrumbs, a little bit of butter, Monterey Jack cheese, and you just mix it all up. You pat it on top of the chicken. You do still have to cook them. That is a thing. You pat it on top of the chicken breast, raw chicken breast, and then you cook it. On the other side was green beans, fresh green beans. I don't like the canned green beans, but fresh green beans I'm okay with. So it was roasted. The green beans were roasted inside. The chicken was cooking on the other side, so you do have to cook it. And then they give you potatoes. and I made my own mashed potatoes, like not the creepy, the flaky kind. Like it's real potatoes. Cut them up, boiled them, mashed them up. It was delicious. I remember growing up, my mom buying the big sack of potatoes, and she didn't like the potato peels, so you'd have to peel all the potatoes out, and she would boil them, and she would make mashed potatoes, the homemade mashed potatoes, and I would help her. Um, Not with the cutting; she didn't trust me with the knife, at least not as a little kid. But I would wash them, and she did teach me how to use the peeler. She was okay with me using the peeler. Um, and although I didn't know like with the mashed potatoes, I would have to make them homemade. Like we have a potato masher, but I can't find it from our move. So again, I'm name dropping stuff here left and right. I'm turning into one of the home shopping channels. But there's this product called the Spurtle sets. This is like I got the one was like a silicone and it's all multicolored and there are 7 things in it. I just use the Spurtle to mash it. It's a little bit chunky, but I like chunkier mashed potatoes. See, I wouldn't use a mixer. Like I do like the little chunks of potato in it. So my mom did use the mixer as well. I do remember bringing out the egg beaters. Because at first we didn't, I remember my mom specifically buying a potato masher because she didn't want to use the beaters. But that's how she made sure it was smooth and creamy. But anytime it was like the home style mash, you had like the potato skins in it. Those were my favorite. It's a dollop of butter. Oh gosh, I'm having a heart attack right now just thinking about all the butter that I used last night. There was a lot of butter. It's like tablespoon here, put a tablespoon here. I'm like, I'm using the whole stick and it's just 2 people. So that meal wasn't, that's a little bit exaggeration, but if you like butter, the red hot chicken recipe, I'm staring at the recipe right now and it's delicious. That's another good thing about this HelloFresh is that you get recipe cards. And they tell you, for the most part, the amounts of each ingredient that you'll need. A pinch of salt, some pepper to taste, a tablespoon of oil, this, that, 6 potato. Like, they can tell you the amount of ingredients that you need so you can make it yourself. So if you stop the subscription service, oh, I can make this taco. I can make this panini. I can make this. And you're looking at some of these recipes like, oh, I want to try that. This looks hard to make. Sometimes they do take a little bit longer than the suggested time limit on there, but they're easy to do. You can remake them again. Like they redo them, they recycle them. They cycle them through every once in a while. Yeah, Red Hot Chicken was last night. They cycle through them, so next couple weeks they'll bring it back. If enough people like them, if people are not ordering this and they hate it, they won't bring it back. But you can save the card. You can make it over again. It's not like some other meal kits. And I know Amazon also has meal kits that they do through Whole Foods, which they use a lot more exotic spices and exotic foods. And they don't tell you sometimes it's just like, oh, it's Moroccan spice. Well, what the heck is Moroccan spice? For one of them, I remember. But they don't tell you like, okay, is this a tablespoon of pepper, a tablespoon of paprika or whatever? But a lot of times when they're spice blends, they don't tell you what's in the spice blend. Whereas HelloFresh, you can find these in the store. You can find a lot of them, more of them in the store. And going through the app, if you're on a diet, like you can choose different meal plans. Like all the meals are 660 calories or less. There's a quick and easy plan. If you like food that's made in like under a half hour. There's kid friendly kid friendly plans where it's like, okay, they make sure they include like lots of macaroni and cheeses and burgers and stuff that kids will like. There's a vegetarian plan. You choose which one of those plans, and they give you, I believe, like I want to say there's like 10 different options. So you get they automatically choose three for you, so you can like, oh, I like those three. I'll trust them. Or it's like, I do not like fish whatsoever. Take the fish away. We're putting that there. So they give you options, but you can choose from those options, and the options change from week to week. And not like I know people in my area. My week was different than a different person's week. We were on the same type of plan, but we looked at both of our menus, and we're like, these are not the same options. So they mix it up per person, even in the area. So it's not like they're shipping the same types of meals to each region. I found that they've been a little bit different. So I do have a lot of pictures. I will post them actually to my Instagram. Some of these to my Instagram to kind of show you guys because they were awesome. So Instagram, again, it's not that Matt WDW. You'll find a lot of my Disney pictures that are there from my trip back in July and my trips in November of last year to Disneyland and Disney World back in March of last year, and even some of them from my Halloween trip to Disneyland in 2018, and retro pics that I have as well. So I've been trying to space them out a little bit more because obviously this is not Florida in the background here. Don't live anywhere near Florida if this is any indication. But I have tons of pics. So a lot of it's just I have to transfer maybe from my computer to my phone so I can post that on Instagram. So yeah. I have run out of things oh no, I haven't run out of things to talk about because if you love how Disney smells, again, I am not endorsing them whatsoever. But flying over Fiji from the Magic Candle Company is actually a very good smell. I do love the Wilderness Lodge smell from Magic Candle Company, that outdoorsy smell. I haven't used this in a while. Now, the one I don't, flying over Orange Grove is kind of okay. The orange smell from them doesn't really transfer that well, but that beach club smell or the Grand Floridian smell, same smell. I need to reorder it. I love that smell. Anytime that beach club aloe, it's aloe and something else. I can't remember what the actual combination is. It's awesome. Now, with any sort of essential oils, now I have like a generic one too from an Amazon company. This is lemon. But you just put like a couple drops into like a water diffuser. So I have a water diffuser off to the side right over here. I filled it up. You can fill up to the line or how much water you want to put in there. And you just kind of shake this into the water. You turn on the oil diffuser and it pumps the smell in. There's also like candle wax melts and candles with the same scents as well. But I don't know, I find these relaxing. So yeah, water, a couple of drops of this into an oil diffuser. Or I guess you can use a humidifier too. That might work. Never tried it with humidifier, so I wouldn't know. So it's not that hard. Like the one I had was like $20. It changes as color changing lights. I know a lot of the shops that like I know Magic Candle Company does have their own um, candle warmer or wax warmers or oil warmers, and they have their own diffuser as well. There's some also other Disney scent companies. I can't remember off the top of my head. I have to try those as well to see which scent's better. But their beach club or their beach resort, I believe it's called Beach Resort. Um, it's spot on, and it's the one I go to the most to kind of relax and unwind. Um, again, smells. Disney smells are the best smells, aren't they? Right? Yeah. Um, oh, I could live at the beach club just for that smell. Although Cape May, which is their buffet restaurant, I believe, wasn't open at the time, and that's a lot of seafood. So I wasn't smelling the seafood. I don't like the smell of seafood. So that might actually change my whole opinion of how the lobby smells. If I, it's probably not a matter of if when I stay there again. Um, well, it's interesting because if you go to like the All Star resorts or the Value resorts, you walk in, it really doesn't smell like anything. It just smells like air. But if you enter in the Grand Floridian, or if you enter in the Wilderness Lodge, or the Beach Club, or Yacht Club, I think they use the same smell at both. Um, you get this distinct scent. Um, of course, Main Street, or if you walk into like a candy shop or bakery, they pump in those smells as well. Um, Pirates of the Caribbean, that distinct smell. Speaking of Pirates of the Caribbean, or the burning Rome smell. If this is definitely burning Rome burning from Magic Ant, don't get this. It stinks, for lack of a better word. This is a no. I've used this twice, and it's like right now. If I kind of go like this, it does smell like it, but I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like I can get the whole Spaceship Earth smell. It's not something you want your house to smell like. Some people do. Some people want that burning smell for like productions or I don't know because they're crazy. But if you're just looking to relax, I would stay away from that one. Don't go like, oh, let's try this one. Don't try it. You're wasting your money. But Splash Mountain, that bromine smell. Oh, I was talking about the smells earlier with "It's a Small World Holiday." Yes, they changed the song up, Christmasize it or holiday, Christmasize it. They put up all the holiday decorations, holiday lights, but they pump in smells like um, a cherry smell, I believe. Don't quote me on that one, but I know that they put in vanilla more Christmassy scents like pine needles, horchata, that cinnamony smell. They pump it in as well. So they pump in smell like it. That part was so cool. And they did. I think they did like a beachy smell as well. Um, in one of the sections. So of course, one of Epcot's most famous smells is the skunk smell in Imagination, right? Um, it's a weird thing to say. Now, Elle saying that she can't stand the bromine smell, it's a weird smell because it's pungent. It's not like a sweet smell, but for some reason, it's distinct to the rides. And then when you're on a Disney ride, it's distinct. I think that's why people like it because it makes them that smell reminds them of Disney. So I don't blame you at all for not liking that one. Oh, you worked at a pool store, Fuel. Oh, it's getting late. You worked at a pool store growing up. That makes sense. So smelling it all the time, you must be sick of it. So I get it. Um, Yeah, I just lost my train of thought here. Smells, good smells, bad smells. I probably smell right now myself. um, but there's certain things that are like uniquely weird Disney. Like you have to get a Dole Whip. Like Dole Whips are not unique to Disney whatsoever. That's my thing. Every time at Disney, I have to get a Dole Whip. Although they sell Dole Whip at like frozen yogurt stores too, versions of it, like either the lime or orange, like one flavor at a time. But I've seen Dole Whip at um at a frozen yogurt store before. Um, um, or it's just you have to get a certain cupcake or a Mickey ice cream bar. Don't get me wrong, it's an ice cream bar. Like I have probably haven't had a Mickey ice cream bar in a while, but it's ice cream covered in chocolate in shape of Mickey. Is it really all that different than a regular ice cream bar? Probably not. Or the Mickey pretzel. It's a pretzel. It's bread, just in the shape of Mickey with the plasticky cheese. It's a pretzel, but again, some people every time they have to get the Mickey pretzel because it's in the shape of Mickey. You're at Disney World, you have to get the pretzel, right? So going back to that, I think that's it's the same thing where people like that bromine smell because it's a Disney smell or the pirate smell. Like it links them, makes them feel good. Feel good. Um, or what's something you're? I'm trying to think of something else. Churros, even like you can get churros. Well, churros are not really too common. You can find them in the stores, but that's more of a Disneyland thing more versus a Disney World thing. But what other dessert I'm trying to think of that's kind of not uniquely Disney, but people still go gaga over it. I can't really think off the top of my head. Um, or they have to hit up certain restaurants. Um, for instance, I know it's like I know people like with Rainforest Cafe. I was like, okay, well, Rainforest Cafe, I can do that here. Well, I could do that here. They closed the one around here. Um, or I've known people that like, oh, let's stop at Frontera. There's a Frontera at Disney Springs. I'm like, well, all right. There's like 3 or 4 different types of Frontera restaurants here in my area. Like the chef Rick Bayless um, is from like his base of operations is here in the Chicago area. Or yeah, even again with some like the stuff like or dining, Chef Mickey's buffets. Some of these places are pretty standard, like sci-fi dining. The food is pretty much standard drive-in type food. You can get it anywhere. It's generic stuff, but it's the atmosphere. Chef Mickey's, you meet Mickey Mouse. Sci-fi dining, you're watching sci-fi trailers in a car. It looks like a drive-in. So that's more so the experience. Cinderella's Royal Table, it's more for the experience. I've never been there, but I think from what I understand, it's more for the experience. What other places that I've been to personally that's more for the experience? Oh, I've been to so many Disney restaurants. Um, Beer Garden. The food is awesome. Of course, it has beer. It has the buffet, but right now it's family style. It's open. It's family style food, but it's like that Oktoberfest atmosphere where they have the band play and just like the way that they used to do the seating pre-pandemic. That's a little bit more atmospheric too. But again, German food. That's the German restaurant. A little bit heavier. I mean, I come from a partially German family, so that's stuff yummy too. Crystal again, some of the stuff on like Main Street, like Tony's. Again, I've never been to Tony's. Never done Via Napoli. I've done like the restaurants that were there prior to Via Napoli. Again, around the turn of the millennium, a little bit after that. Um, because we ate at that Italy restaurant again. It was good food, but I also like the Trattoria Al Forno. Awesome food on the boardwalk. Pasta's made in house, reasonably priced. Um, Chicken Parmesan was awesome. They also make pizzas and flatbreads. The pizza window is a part of the trattoria. It's actually tucked in there a little bit. Um, delicious food. Casey's, another good example. It's hot dogs. It's hot dogs. Uh, what can I say? It's hot dogs. But it's like, oh, it's a hot dog from Casey's Corner. I mean, for me, it's kind of like me going to a baseball game, getting a hot dog every time. Hot dog and an old style. That was my thing up until they stopped saying old style at Wrigley Field. But it's just like drink, hot dog. That was like my pregame ritual the whole entire time. Crappy ballpark hot dog, overpriced beverage, but something I had to do each time. So I'm guilty of it too. This news, where was it? Where did I see it? This is something that Tom, which he's still probably streaming right now. But he's been complaining that this is not coming. Why haven't they opened this yet? Or why haven't they opened this yet? The spring roll cart. The spring roll cart is opening first week of October in Adventureland. So cheeseburgers, I don't know what spring rolls that they're going to have there. I would assume they're bringing back the cheeseburger spring roll, which he made a couple times on his streams. But they're opening beginning of October. Again, something they probably should open with the park. I would have loved to have a cheeseburger spring roll from Disney, but that would have been something. That's a little bit more unique though. Like, yeah, I could go to maybe like Cheeseburger Factory. No, Cheesecake Factory. Cheeseburger cheesecake. No. That cheeseburger Cheesecake Factory has cheeseburger egg rolls or cheeseburger spring rolls. But Elle, are you questioning ballpark hot dogs? They're made in that little, like, the dirty water. Like, it's community water basically. Like, they dump a bunch of hot dogs. Yeah, cheeseburgers. Going back to what you said, cheeseburger spring rolls are definitely unique. But right here, I'm not talking about the actual brand ballpark. I'm talking about when you go to like a baseball stadium. Those, well, maybe at the ballpark you go to, but Wrigley Field, they just dump them. They're not roasted whatsoever. They're boiled. But you have all the fixins for a traditional Chicago style. You have the sport peppers. You got the mustard. They do have ketchup. If you don't want to put ketchup on a hot dog. No, they don't. Not in Chicago. They boil them. I know they boil them. They're not grilled. They're boiled. Because that's how you make a Chicago hot dog. You got the tomato station. You've got the onion station. You got the neon green relish and all that stuff. But it's you can do them yourself. And is the outcome too different if you put it on a roasting stick versus whatever? They're not too different. But yeah, I went off the rails so much. I'm forgetting what we even started talking about. So, I've been on for about an hour and 15 minutes. So, again, I'm trying to. Okay, Elle, I'm going to wait before I sign off. I'm going to wait. Explain how they are different. No, it's not your fault. But explain how they're different, how I'm calling. I am listening. Convince me. I've set up a table in the middle of a park with a coffee mug. Here's my coffee mug. I am that meme right now. Explain. I am. Yeah, my mind is made up. Like the okay, yes, the texture is a little bit different. Um, I don't grill, but again, boiled versus the whole roaster thing. Flavor wise, for me, they're pretty much the same. I'll give you the texture, but like we better end this now because my mind is going down the gutter right now. I want to say things that I can't say because I'm trying to keep this at least a little bit clean. So, watching The Mandalorian, there are so many like catchphrasy things. Um, so I'm gonna end the stream with something. We'll see if it sticks or not. But don't I? Yeah, I won't do it. I will. Yes, I will message you. So thank you all for watching. Again, my Instagram account, not that Matt WDW. Watch it. Subscribe to it. Love it. Like it. Hit the like button, subscribe button, all that good stuff. I'm not really good at that. Like I do mod for other channels, and I have all those phrases typed out, and just I'm on my phone usually when I'm modding for other channels, and I just type in a couple secret letters, and the whole spiel pops up. I don't type it out each time. I'm too lazy like that. But of course, comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I believe my good friend Tom Does Disney, he might be still streaming still. If he is, he's doing a Lego build. So go ahead and watch that once I'm finished. I'm sure he'll love the extra viewers. If you're watching this on the replay, watch his replay. Again, those are always good with those Lego builds. I'll be on maybe Saturday next week. Saturday or Sunday. Again, I like Saturday streams a whole lot better than Sunday streams, but I don't know. More people have been watching on Sundays. So it'll be sometime next weekend. If I get some of like the Disney stuff before then, which I don't think I will. If I do, just watch for that notification saying, hey, he's got a video coming up. So going back to the whole ending thing with the whole Mandalorian, a couple of catchphrases, and just do it earlier Saturday instead of 9. I think I might go. I don't know. I may even be on tomorrow doing this all over again so we can have more people watch. But as that one Nick Nolte character kept saying, I have spoken. Huh? Just end it. I have spoken. Or was it that's the way it is? Or that's the way it has to be, or something like that. See, I'm messing up already. I like I have spoken. To quote the Mandalorian TV series, I have spoken. But Star Wars nerds will know what I'm talking about. If you've seen the Mandalorian, you know what I'm talking about. I've spoken. That's it. I've spoken. Good night. See you at the next one.